Well, hello all. Here on this hot, sunny day in California, U.S. Very hot, intensive heat throughout the U.S. and the rest of the world in several places. But what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to give you an example of why it's so important to put in good politicians no matter where you live, and you have the choice of whether you put in a politician or not. Who you vote for is so darn important, and let me show you a reason why. While U.S.'ans take refuge from record-setting extreme heat, suffering from wildfire smoke, the House Republicans here in the U.S. propose slashing the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency, funding to the lowest level in 30 years. Republicans want to cut the EPA budget by a staggering 39%, while promoting fossil fuel development as huge swaths of the planet face devastating heat waves. The National Resource Defense Council said in a statement that the Republican bill is the worst of its kind we've ever seen. This legislation reads like a how-to manual for destroying the planet. So while the rest of the planet is talking about getting rid of fossil fuels, here in the U.S., the Republican Party wants more drilling and more fossil fuels. But you've got to remember, the politicians don't live outside or ever hardly go outside. They only go outside to go from one vehicle to another, so they don't experience the high temperatures and the bad weather and the severe weather that the rest of us do. This was made public last week amid record-shattering heat and other extreme weather across the U.S. and world. Republicans call for a $4 billion in total cut to the EPA budget. That's ridiculous. Slashing the agency's Clean Water Fund, emissions reductions grants, so no more reducing emissions, don't want that, and other programs. The bill would also remove the gray wolf from the list of endangered and threatened wildlife and prevent the EPA from considering the social cost of CO2 in any regulatory action. See, the politicians know that we're having trouble with extreme CO2, but they want to bury it. They don't want you to know that that CO2 is a problem here in the U.S. or anywhere else. Politicians seem to be all the same. They don't give a rat's ass about you and I, but just about making money for themselves and their party, and to get reelected over and over, to keep feeding off the fat of the illegal contributions, as they're called. We've seen that so much here in the U.S., where politicians will go out and grift and beg for your money, come up with schemes that are either close to illegal or completely illegal to get money out of your pockets. People, it's up to us to elect the right politicians to the offices, and that's hard to do because each one of us have to research each politician to make sure that when we vote correctly and we don't put in garbage like this. These are just trash politicians, getting rid of the EPA funding and cutting back so that nobody knows about CO2 and the environment. I mean, what kind of crap is that? Taking threatened, endangered animals off the Endangered Species Act? What the hell is wrong with these people? Oh, I'll tell you what's wrong with them. The old money. Money corrupts all. Money causes a blinder over your eye, no matter what the situation. If there's a dollar bill in front of it, that makes it perfectly okay to go ahead and go against the people's best wishes and the best situation that we can go for. It's getting more and more ridiculous the more and more we put in bad politicians. What's your thought on this situation here in the U.S.? I'm sure it's the same situation where you are around the world. Let me know what you guys think about your politicians. Are they doing the same thing, forgetting about the environmental movement and just going for the fossil fuels. That's a death sentence. If we go past 2 degrees C, we're all going to cook to death. Right now, we're at about 1.5 plus degrees above industrial levels, and they say we're going to stay that way for at least 2 more years until the next La Nina comes in and cools things back down for a while, if we ever get another La Nina. But we'll see what happens. What is your thoughts? I appreciate your comments, your ups, and the new subscribers. And until next time.